All right, everyone, welcome back. We are jumping into the deep end today.
The deep end of the gig economy, that's right.
Yeah, we're looking at this article from Manx Design.
Called Navigating the Gig Economy, Tips for Freelancers and Independent Contractors.
It's a long title, but it's a good article.
It is. It's packed with good stuff.
Yeah, so we're going to try to break down how
So
to
the essentials, yeah.
make it as a freelancer, how to land those first clients and
And to keep them.
yeah, and how to not totally mess up your finances.
Which is easier said than done.
When you're doing your own thing, right?
Exactly.
So the article starts off talking about building a client base.
Right out of the gate.
And it kind of stresses the importance of networking, but I think that's a word that
Everyone hates.
Yeah, it makes me cringe.
Me too.
So, what are some practical strategies, especially if you're not
Not a super extroverted person.
right, not like a big conference goer.
You don't have to be like a, backslapping
Right.
cocktail hour kind of person to network.
Yeah, what else can you do?
I think for a lot of people, especially like with the internet and everything,
Yeah.
online communities are a really good way to network.
Oh, that's a good point.
Point, especially if they're centered around
Your skill set or your
yeah, your industry or your skills or what you do, places where you can sort of showcase your work and just chat with people who are interested in the same stuff.
So it's less about going to these awkward events and more about
Just finding your people online.
yeah, finding your people and authentically engaging.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
sure.
And like you were saying, LinkedIn's another good place to do that.
LinkedIn is great, and a lot of people will kind of poo-poo it,
Yeah.
but I have gotten actual work from LinkedIn.
Interesting.
So I think it depends on your industry, obviously. But engaging, commenting on things,
Yeah.
sharing articles that are relevant to your field, I
Yeah.
think all that stuff can kind of help you stand out.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's more about showing genuine interest and sharing your expertise rather than
Trying to collect business cards.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And I think also the article mentions this, and I think it's so important, every project is a networking opportunity.
Oh, that's good.
If you can consistently exceed your clients' expectations,
Yeah.
they become walking, talking advertisements for you.
Oh, that's so true.
Word of mouth referrals.
Powerful.
Incredibly powerful, especially when you're starting out.
Okay. I love that every project is a networking opportunity.
Write that down.
Okay, I'm writing it down. So let's talk about something that I think a lot of freelancers get nervous about, which is setting rates.
Ooh, yeah, big one.
It's a tough one.
Hmm.
How do you figure out what to charge without
Underselling yourself,
yeah, underselling yourself or
pricing yourself out of the market.
yeah, exactly.
It's a balance for sure.
Yeah, so how do you find that balance?
Research, research, research.
Okay.
You got to know what's going on out there in the world.
What are some places you can look?
Yeah, so online freelance platforms are a good place to start.
Okay.
Places like Upwork or Fiverr, whatever's relevant to your industry.
Yeah.
You can just kind of see what other people are charging.
Just get a sense.
Yeah, get a sense of the going rate.
Okay.
Also, industry forums, if there are Facebook groups or Reddit communities or whatever for your specific niche.
Right.
People are usually pretty open about sharing that kind of information.
And you can also reach out to other freelancers,
Totally.
maybe not your direct competition.
But it's not your arch nemesis.
Yeah.
But people who are in a similar field, just to get a sense of
Yeah.
what's reasonable.
So for example, what if you were a web designer?
Okay, so let's say you're a web designer with a couple years of experience under your belt.
Yeah.
And you're working in a major city.
Okay.
You're probably looking at an hourly rate somewhere between, I don't know, 75 and 150 an hour.
Okay, so there's a big range there.
There is a range.
How do you know where you fall within that range?
That's where it gets tricky, right?
Yeah.
I think it's about finding that sweet spot between your value
Yep.
and what the market will actually bear.
Yeah.
So think about your unique skills, the complexity of the projects that you take on.
Yeah.
Even your location. Bigger cities often command higher rates,
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
cost of living and all that.
Totally. And the article talks about presenting your rates with confidence.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
It can be hard.
Especially when you're new.
Especially when you're new. Yeah. Do you have any tips for
Getting comfortable with those conversations.
Yeah.
I think practice is key. Rehearse your pricing structure out loud.
Oh, that's good.
Until it feels natural, have a clear breakdown of what's included in your services, and be prepared to explain
Your value proposition.
Exactly. You're not just selling your time, you're selling your expertise.
Yeah, that's a really good point. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of
Financers.
yes, managing finances as a freelancer, where I think a lot of people
Stumble.
Yeah.
No, I did.
for sure the article really stresses meticulous tracking. What are
Cheat City.
what are some tools or strategies that you recommend for staying on top of all that?
Well, first of all, there are tons of great apps and software programs out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that are designed specifically for freelancers.
That's core.
So you don't have to be like messing around with Excel if you don't want
Yeah,
them.
I was going to say spreadsheets are scary.
They can be,
Yeah,
but find one that works for you and just get into the habit of tracking every dollar that comes in and goes out.
every dollar.
Every single dollar.
Okay.
And it's not just about knowing where your money's going. It's crucial for tax purposes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Which brings us to our next point.
Tax is fun.
Everyone's favorite topic.
I remember when I first started freelancing, I was like, wait, I have to pay how much in taxes?
Yeah. Yeah, self-employment taxes are no joke.
No, they're not. Can you just break down like what that actually means for people?
Yeah, so as a freelancer, you're essentially your own business.
Right.
Which means you're responsible for paying both the employer and the employee portions of Social Security and Medicare taxes,
Oh, I see.
which is typically around 15% of your net income.
That's a lot.
It's a chunk of change, so it's really important to be setting aside money throughout the year.
Yeah, don't spend it all as it comes in.
Don't go on that spending spree just yet.
Yeah, and the article suggests like maybe even consulting with a financial advisor to like,
Yeah, if you're feeling really lost.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to make sure you're doing everything well,
yeah, have a
it
black.
can be really helpful to have someone who can kind of walk you through
Yeah,
the ins and outs of self-employment taxes and retirement planning, all that good stuff.
absolutely. Okay, last but not least,
We're getting there.
we're getting there juggling multiple projects.
The juggle is real.
It is real. The article talks about like time management being essential. Like how do you,
How do you keep all the balls in the air?
yeah, how do you stay organized and avoid burning out?
Prioritize.
Okay.
Start each day by identifying your most important tasks
Okay.
and then break down large projects into smaller, more manageable chunks.
Okay. That's good advice for anything.
Is, and this is a hard one, but learn to say no.
Oh, so hard.
It's so hard, especially when you're starting out.
And you just want to like,
Take every opportunity.
yeah, and you're like, I can do it. I can do it all.
But you can't.
Yeah.
You really can't. And it's better to say no to a project that doesn't really align with your goals
Yeah.
or your schedule
Right.
than to take it on and end up doing a bad job or burning yourself out.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another thing the article touched on was delegating,
Oh, yeah.
which can also be hard
It can be, but it's so important.
because you feel like you should be able to do it all yourself.
You want to be a superhero.
Yeah.
But delegating is not a sign of weakness.
No, it's not.
If you have tasks that are outside your core expertise
Yeah.
or that are just eating up too much of your time,
Yeah.
consider outsourcing. There are talented freelancers out there
Really? Oh my gosh, yes.
who specialize in all sorts of things.
Everything from administrative tasks to social media management, bookkeeping,
Interesting.
you name it. There's someone out there who can help you.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have
Networking, setting rates, managing finances, juggling multiple projects.
the whole shebang.
Yeah, if you had to pick, like, the most essential skill for thriving in the gig economy, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
But I think if I had to pick just one, I would say adaptability.
Oh, that's good.
The freelance landscape is constantly changing. New technologies emerge, client needs evolve,
Yeah,
and you have to be willing to learn and adapt to stay ahead of the curve.
that is so true. This deep dive has been packed with practical insights.
We did it. We did it, but I have one final question for you
Hit me.
and for our listeners out there.
Okay.
As automation and AI become more sophisticated,
Ooh, good one.
how do you see the gig economy evolving? What skills do you think will be most valuable for freelancers in the future?
I don't. Let us know.
Yeah, we would love to hear your thoughts on that. Get the conversation going.
Yeah, what are your predictions?
Yeah.
Drop them in the comment.
Until next time, happy freelancing, everyone.
See ya. Bye.